We asked hundreds of women over the age of 50 a very direct question. We asked them what parts of a man's body they genuinely notice when they look at men older than 60. The results were honest. They were surprising. And the third answer, even I did not see it coming. Before you assume it is his chest or his shoulders, pause for a moment and actually think about it. Most men guess wrong when they try. And the fourth body area on this list is something that almost 91% of men ignore without ever realizing it, yet women say they notice it from a distance. It quietly communicates how much a man still cares about himself. Most men only become aware of this detail when the moment has already passed. Today we are walking through 5 specific physical areas. What women actually observe in men over 60. Why these things matter more than most men think. And what the signals each one sends, consciously or not, to every woman who sees you. The fifth one may sound obvious at first, but the deeper reason behind it will change the way you think about your entire physical presence. The fifth area is posture, in simple terms, how your spine holds itself when you are standing, walking, or moving through the world. It does not sound dramatic, but women notice posture before they study your face. In the conversations that shaped this research, over 70% of women said a man's posture tells them more about his relationship with life than his overall fitness level does. Think about what this actually means. You are standing in a queue at a coffee shop. You are stepping out of your car. You are walking across a car park toward a building. In each of these completely ordinary moments, the way your body carries itself is already communicating something before a single word has been spoken. Are your shoulders rolled forward? Is your head pushed out ahead of your body? Does your upper back curve inward as though the weight of your years is physically pressing you down? Women who encounter men over 60 are not comparing them to 25-year-olds. They understand that bodies change with age. That is not the question they are asking. The question that forms quietly in their minds is something different. Is this man still actively engaged with life, or has he already begun the slow process of giving up? That answer shows up in posture before anything else does. Here is the contrast that matters. A man with an impressive physique, wide shoulders, years of gym work, but who walks with his head dropped and his energy visibly depleted. And beside him, an ordinary man, maybe carrying some extra weight, but standing straight, chest open, chin level, moving as though he has somewhere to be and is not in a hurry to get there. Which man receives a second look of genuine interest? The good news is that posture is not a genetic gift. It is a daily habit. Stand taller. Draw your shoulders back gently. Keep your head aligned over your spine, rather than leaning ahead of it. These adjustments take seconds and transform first impressions completely. The fourth area is your hands. This is the one that 91% of men ignore. And it is the one women say they notice even from a distance, before any real interaction has happened. Not the size of your hands, not how strong they look, the condition of them, the details. Women notice the nails, the skin, the basic level of grooming. After 60, aging becomes visible in the hands early. Veins become more prominent. Skin changes texture. These are entirely normal biological processes, and women understand that. What they are actually observing is something beneath the surface of those changes. They are looking at whether a man notices the small things, whether he pays attention to details most people would never comment on, whether he cares about the things that are easy to overlook. Maintaining your hands takes 2 minutes a week. Trimmed nails, filed rough edges, basic moisturization if the skin is cracking. That is genuinely all that is required. Hands that have worked hard are attractive. Calluses from physical activity suggest capability, usefulness, and continued engagement with life. But hands that have simply been neglected tell a different story. They suggest a man who has stopped attending to himself. And women quietly wonder what else he may be allowing to slide without noticing. The balance matters here. Immaculately manicured hands that look professionally maintained every single day can seem forced and a little odd on an older man. The ideal is not perfection. It is care. Clean, considered, and real. The third area surprised almost everyone in the research. 84% of women rated it as more important to them than muscle size. The third area is the neck and jawline, not the jawline you had at 30. Women do not expect that, and they're not looking for it. What they notice is something more nuanced than that. After 60, fat tends to accumulate beneath the chin. Skin loses firmness more quickly. Neck muscles weaken gradually. This happens to virtually every man to some degree. The question that reveals itself to a woman observing an older man is not whether this has happened to him. It is whether he has made any effort to manage it, or whether he has simply accepted it without a second thought. The jawline is not something most men think about deliberately. But even modest reductions in overall body fat can restore definition that appeared entirely lost. Losing a relatively small amount of weight can bring back visible structure in the face and neck that makes a man look more alert, more vital, more present in his own body. Women read this not as vanity, but as self-awareness, as evidence that a man still has standards for himself. The second area is one almost no man expects to hear. The forearms. Forearms are visible in the most ordinary situations. When you roll up your sleeves to do something, when you open a door, when you carry something from one place to another, when you gesture naturally during conversation. They are almost always in plain sight, and they are almost always being registered. Many men spend years developing their chest and biceps while neglecting forearms entirely. But women consistently respond to forearms as a signal of practical capability. Strong forearms suggest a man who uses his body purposefully, who can lift things, fix problems, handle physical tasks with confidence and ease. They communicate functional strength rather than aesthetic effort. And the path to developing them is not complicated. It is real work. Carry heavy things regularly. Do yard work. Work with your hands. Use grip strength in daily life. These ordinary activities develop the kind of forearm presence that communicates capability without a single word being spoken. The first area, the one that speaks most powerfully about a man's self-respect and his relationship with his own life, is the eyes and the overall quality of his expression. This is not about eye color or physical structure. It is about what your eyes communicate when you look at the world. Confidence, purpose, calm engagement with what is in front of you. The quiet signal that you are still here, still present, still interested in the life you are living rather than simply enduring the remainder of it. Your eyes and your expression are not separate from the other four areas. They are the sum of them. When a man stands with genuine posture, when he cares for the small details others overlook, when he maintains himself with quiet self-respect across every area of his physical presence, it shows up most powerfully in his expression, in the way he looks at people, in the ease with which he holds eye contact, in the absence of apology in how he occupies space. Women observe all of this together, not as a checklist being consciously evaluated, but as an overall impression that forms almost instantaneously. The impression of a man who has chosen to remain engaged with his life, who still considers himself worth attending to, who has not surrendered to the idea that age is a reason to stop caring. Here is what ties all five of these together in a way that matters far more than any individual area. Women who are attracted to older men are almost never attracted to perfection. They are attracted to presence, to self-respect made visible, to the evidence that a man looks at himself in the mirror and still sees someone worth the effort of showing up well. You cannot rely on youth at this stage of life. But you never needed youth for any of this. Posture is a choice made daily. Hands are maintained in minutes. A jawline reflects ongoing decisions about your body. Forearms are built through living actively. And the expression in your eyes reflects whether you are still invested in the life in front of you. Most men your age have stopped trying. That is precisely what makes the ones who have not so immediately noticeable. Not because they look younger, because they look alive. The signals your body sends at 60 and beyond are not about competing with what you were at 30. They are about communicating who you are right now. And the men who understand that, who take these five areas seriously not out of vanity, but out of genuine self-respect, are the men who continue to command genuine attention long after most have made themselves invisible.